I can sit here and be negative and talk about the defence of both teams, but that sort of game is what the fans want to see. And there was lots of tries, there was lots of great skill and show. Both teams went at it and really threw a lot at each other. And sometimes those sort of contests, that's where it gets to, and it's hard to defend. And both coaches will look at the defence, but I'm not concerned because it hasn't been consistent with us. It's just that style of game. We came here to have a better response, have a response from last week, and go after the game, and we did that. And so that's all I'm worried about. It was fourth versus third, and we jumped a spot there, and both teams showed that they're worthy of where they sit.
Yeah, you talked during the week about the importance of the performance. Were they halfway there, or?
Yeah, look, we've done lots of good things, and sometimes it's hard when you get in those games and they get a little bit loose to rein it back in, and we did that when we needed to, and so, and then you score a couple of tries and they go for 3 or 4 short kickoffs. Like that doesn't happen all the time in the game. So there's a lot of things that don't normally happen in the game that you've got to deal with, and just got to work out how we respond to it a little bit better. But overall, we're trying to grow the game, and that's what people want to see, tries, don't they? No, I don't want to see too many against us, but it's just, I'll put it down to a nice win and enjoy a couple of days break that we've got into a tough game next week.
Yeah, Leigh scored points, they applied pressure, they got close to you. Were you pleased with the way that your team responded to some of those difficult moments in the game?
Yeah, because you can get flustered and you can start getting nervous and, go into your shell, and we didn't do that. Come up with a couple of soft efforts for tries, but like I said, I'm not going to make excuses for our defence, but I just think sometimes those games, they just have a habit of being a bit of touch footy. I've been involved in them before, and I'm sure the fans and the people would rather see that than 8-6.
Spectacular on attack at times tonight.
Yeah, it was both teams, but they scored some good tries too. Both teams really tested each other, and it's hard to defend because it changes what you do in defence when teams are just all out attack. It does change what you do in defence.
Callum Watkins rolling back the ears again.
Yeah, it's a good one. He's easy to coach. I don't have to really worry about him. Put him in the back row. He's been in the middle. He went to the left side this week, so he can play anywhere. He's been a handy addition for us.
And finally from me, Jake Connor, 8 from 8.
Yeah, kicked really well. That helped. If you can go up in sixes, that certainly makes a difference. We put a nice kick up, and he came up with a nice contest. To get Mikolai a try, and Mikolai wanted to make sure I give him a shout out for his try. So front rowers don't get too many, but our forwards are getting a few, which is good.
Obviously two tries from Callum, contrasting tries, but the second, the dummy was meaningful. Everybody in the ground. It was a little bit special, wasn't
it? Yeah, he's pretty smart. He obviously knew that we had quite a bit of support there, and he's seen what the eyes of the fullback, what he was going for the intercept. And it was only a couple of weeks ago against Castleford, we had the same sort of setup, and we passed it straight to the fullback. So just shows you his class. That sort of stuff is not driven by any coaches, me or that he's had in the past. He's just a class footballer.
You played full 8s as well, didn't you?
Yep.
It's not a bad effort on a warm night for a...
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. And some of his efforts in defence were really good, and then some of his efforts in attack to take a lot of those tough carries in red zone on the back of kick returns. He took a lot of early tough carries, and that was something that I asked him to do and challenged him before the game, to take those tough carries out when we need them, when we're getting bashed on our try line, coming off our try line, and he did a lot of those tonight.
Harry Newman, 2 tries as well, and he obviously had a big game.
Look, a lot of the guys did, and good thing about it is I'm just going to sit down and enjoy the game and watch it, and I'm going to get frustrated with a bit of the defence, but look at it from a perspective that we asked the boys to come with a good response, and they did.
You just asked you about a couple of selections. Obviously, Riley Lunn was out for the first time this season, and Bentley as well. Was that was squad rotation? I understand.
Yeah, and Bentos is a bit crook, and so we've got the luxury that we've got a good depth in our squad. We're reasonably healthy, so we've got the luxury of not having to push blokes when we don't have to. And Riley's played 15 games straight and probably played way more than we thought he would this year. with the injury to Micah. So probably a good week just to give him a week off and give Alfie an opportunity. He hasn't had a lot of opportunity, and I thought he'd done a pretty good job tonight.
It doesn't really matter now, but you think he was a little bit unlucky with the
I think it's
not home try?
Yeah, look, I need to watch the replays closely, but I thought it was a try.
Yeah. Thanks, Brad.
Brad, Sean Wayne's been adamant since he took charge of England that he would pick the side and the squad's on form. He names a performance squad on Monday. I mean, would it be harsh at this point if Jake Connor wasn't included in that, given the way he's playing?
I think he's probably done enough to get a mention, but we've got quite a good representation in there, and if the boys keep playing well, it only enhances Jake's opportunities. And it's like that at the moment. All the individual rewards or accolades that players get, it can only happen and can only be built if it's of a team-based focus and mentality. So if the team continues to play well for each other, we'll get more guys that might get added to that squad.
You weren't obviously able to get a settled spine in that first 6 to 8 weeks of the year, but now you've got Miller, Croft, Connor and O'Connor as well. I mean, they all look like they're thriving.
Yeah, they're getting better. Our connection wasn't great last week, and yeah, they've done a pretty good job tonight. There's still some areas there that like for an 80 minutes we haven't quite nailed that yet. But what are we, round 16 going into round 17? So we've still got a little bit of time to get it right.
Just on Jake, obviously he's got this reputation for how he acts, how he performs on the pitch. As an Aussie, if you were watching the Kangaroos this year, would you want to watch Jake Connor try and rattle some of your boys?
I'm pretty happy with how Jake's behaviour on the field. He's doing a good job, isn't he? He's been very discreet about when he's having a little niggle. I think he's doing a pretty good job of hiding it.